Footy.
Yeah, Whitey. Good to be back.
We're on. How fucking refreshing was it to watch good waves on the WSL?
Amazing. How good was it?
It was fucking sick.
J-Bait, when it's on, it's such a sick wave to watch, isn't it?
Yeah. Slightly a few issues though with the judging, eh?
Can we talk about John
Oh, dude.
robbery?
That was a shame, eh?
Yeah. What is that? One of the rare moments where he's been on that end of it?
Nah, people always reckon he's getting underscored. You know what I think happened? So at the wave pool, everyone was up in arms, the Brazilians judging so bad. And now I feel like the judges have sort of gone the other way. And now, like, I don't know if you saw Medina and Callinan's heat. I swear Arcal got fucking robbed harder than even John.
Yeah.
He had one of the, like a big set wave, 5 big turns and got like an 8.7. It was definitely 9s.
Even Toledo as well. He got probably overscored in a couple of
that
quarters.
9.6 or some shit? Yeah.
But the John robbery was... Everyone was shocked.
Yeah, especially when old mate comes in and his own coach is like, yeah, I think you were 1 turn short. And then he's just in the shower, eh?
Yeah, and you could hear the audio sort of quietly. He was saying how like it kind of faded away from him. It was just a little bit too small, that last one.
Yeah.
And then so they're both like admitting that probably didn't get the score and has a shower. And then his face was just so frothing and shocked when he came in.
Yeah.
And all the Aussies on the balcony as well.
And that shows we're not biased because he's one of our own.
Yeah.
John's like American, Hawaiian, whatever. Everyone loves him, obviously. But everyone knew John's last wave was better than his. And John got an 8 and he got an 8.7 versus an 8.7. It just, the sums weren't adding up, eh?
I thought it was going to come just under. Did you? Like probably 1 point under, like a 7, mid-7 I thought he might have got.
Yeah.
And then he got the score.
Yeah.
Just to beat him by like was it 0.34 or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah.
In front.
I hate harping on about judging because like every sport has bad judging. But one thing, the biggest issue I have with WSL right now is their cuts to the ads in the middle of a heat. I don't know, did you watch Brazil?
Yeah, a little bit.
Man, the final, you're like, it's all set up like Ethan Ewing versus, was it Yago Dora? And you're watching the final. The waves aren't that good, but their surfing's amazing. And then it cuts to an ad and then just comes back and you see on the score, you've missed a 10-point ride from Yago. I just remember seeing that and I'm like, he just got a 10 and they were just doing some shitty ad.
I don't want to buy a Jeep.
I hate people that like say, oh, I just turned it off. But I literally turned it off after that. I was like, I'm turning it off. Like, do better, WSL. Like, it's only a 30-minute or a 40-minute heat. Just, you know, UFC, they're not cutting to an ad mid-round.
Yeah, imagine that. And then it comes over ad break and they've just been laid out.
Why not, like, between every heat, just have 30-second break where you do your 30-second ad?
Yeah.
Another prime example, F1. Once the light's out, you're locked in, that whole thing. That's why it's so gripping. You're locked into it.
Yeah, same with footy, same with cricket. You don't just go to an ad in between overs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Or you do between overs.
No, but like in an actual over, like third ball, they're not like, all right, we're going to cut to
You
a
mean
break
in
now.
the middle of an over?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I guess it's a little harder with the overlapping heats.
Yeah. Did you see Jack's paddle battle as well?
Yeah.
That was pretty sick, hey?
Yeah, but that was tough watching him versus Slater. It was like your two kids surfing against each other.
That was Grin Reaper's heat.
Yeah. What do you think Slater got the score at the end there? With that pit?
I thought it was going to be tight. If he was in it for a little bit longer, he got a couple second cover up and then came out the doggy door a little bit.
Yeah.
If that had held up a bit and stayed a bit rounder for longer, I reckon he would have been undeniable.
Yeah.
A typical Slater though finds a barrel, eh?
Yeah.
When no one else was.
Yeah.
Did you think he got it?
I thought it was going to be closer than what they gave it anyway. Or it ended up being the gap. It was like minuscule.
What I did like, it was good viewing. A lot of the heats were quite high scoring affairs, hey?
Oh,
yeah.
There's
some really good toe-to-toe battles.
Yeah.
Like the standard surfing was on.
Yeah. And I get judging discrepancies like between Conor O'Leary and John or something like that. But when it's a black on black crime, like 2 backhands, Medina, like Medina's heat, like that is apples to apples kind of thing.
Yeah.
Medina had flow and all that, but fuck, when you look at the size of Arcal's wave, fitting in 5 massive turns, there was something going on.
Well,
just reverse racism with the Brazil. It's the payback.
Well, that's what I was thinking with you're talking about how like John has had a few of those. He's also been on the end of some good ones too. You know, like I reckon Brazil would have been up and about when they saw him get knocked. There's always that war between Brazil and them. A lot of the Brazos thinking that John's like Team WSL and they look after him and stuff. But that just shows that
Yeah. And then the whole
on any
thing,
day, anyone can get bent over.
and the president, like Logan, just gone, and no one's addressing it. Like, you wonder what happened. Is it over that judging thing, or did something else happen? Is there a scandal they're not letting everyone know? We'll have to ask Jackie Boy. He'll hooks up.
World Shame League. I'm sure you'll see that in the.
But I
in the
hate
comments.
normally all the narrative of like hating on the WSL because I do. I love watching it, but it's just these little things I feel they could make it incredible.
The judging consistency, but like you said, that's across the board in numerous sports, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you got a human factor in it.
Are we going there? Jack Della? Fuck.
Yeah.
How that was a split decision on one judge is beyond me.
People are still going on about that in the comments. Like today, he put up
saying
a post.
that there's no way it should be split, or
No, some people are just typical American like fans, obviously, that thought that it went the other way, and maybe they had their money on the other bloke.
no, they've got no idea.
But he had no control. He had the ground control, but he had nothing. He wasn't doing any damage with it. Jack smoked him. He conflicted the most damage.
Yeah, round 2 almost finished him. It was that one side, and then round 3 again almost finished him.
Yeah.
If the guy just like holds a position for a couple of minutes, that means nothing in the big scheme of things.
Yeah, 'cause
it's
he
damage. The damage done.
Yeah. When I was watching it, I was tripping a bit going, the commentators were so annoying. Had to put it on mute. But I was like, maybe we're too close to it because we're friends with Jack and Ben and we're like too invested. But then I was like,
I thought that, so I rewatched it.
so did I.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he conflicted so much more damage. With some of those body blows, like shout out to old mate Basil, he took him well. Like it looked like he was rocked and about to go down, but he just never went down, Barney Gumble style. Like
Yeah.
or Homer Simpson, he refused to go down. Just a human punching bag. He was tough.
Cannot dispute that bloke's heart.
Man.
He hung in there, like he took big clean shots. But it was a mollywhopping as far as I'm concerned. Like, everyone's saying that it should have been 2 to the other dude. They're just.
Do you think the emotions got the better of a lot of people? Like watching, I feel like Jack's got a lot of fans across the world, and he created a bit of a cult following in his short career so far.
That's
and
exactly
almost
it.
like they were disappointed with some of his fight IQ, and then they were like, "Nah, he lost," but they didn't actually watch it back and go.
He set his own bar so high with all these first round finishes. Everyone just assumes he's going to do that forever, but you can't just keep knocking everyone out in the first round. Like that was one hell of a run, but yeah,
He needed that fight.
100%.
I reckon he'll be
the universe answered exactly what he needed. 3-round war, stuff to work on. Obviously, you don't want to get controlled on the ground, but if the guy's not doing anything, I understand why you just lay there.
Yeah, and that's
You've done a double weight cut.
yeah.
It's like, yeah. And the other thing that I feel is getting overshadowed is the amount of takedowns that he stopped. Like, I think the dude I think he was like 3 from 30. Like 30 takedown attempts. Like, so it's not like
yeah.
the
He's
dude was
fucking-
just owning. Jack was like doing well.
Yeah, and he's good, man. That guy, like, the people, it'd be hard to understand when you've changed 3 opponents in the space of a week and a bit,
Yeah.
or 2 weeks, and you would have very little info in this new guy, and you've had 2 weight cuts. It's they're challenges in itself. So despite where you think he might be an unranked opponent, and he's come from Cage Fury, the local circuit, wherever, all the other factors add up, and it ends up equaling a tough challenge because you don't have much to go off.
Look at Anthony Smith. Is he 205er? I've heard him go on record saying he has troubles with that dude wrestling him. So there you go. Like, he's high caliber.
Yeah, and Gaethje and that had big backing on him as well in the lead up. I'm excited to see him fight again.
Yeah.
He was good, man. He's tough as fuck, and it was a sick fight.
Yeah.
And I think that's the growth that you get in any sport when you go through diversity like that, where it was a challenge. Like Jack put on a performance, he would have learned so much from that.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're just so much better for that, because if you just keep mowing through blokes, you only know what you know, don't you?
Yeah.
So I'm scared to see whoever he faces in Sydney. He put up this morning about he can't wait to celebrate his birthday at UFC Sydney with the guillotine.
Yeah. And he will too.
Oh, for sure.
But that's the thing. Them guillotines, like, it's so easy to sit there and judge and say, oh, stop pulling the guillotine. But, like, I've been on mats. I've done that thousands of times, where I know sometimes, like, you're going to pull a guillotine, end up in a bad position, not get the finish. But you also do hit the guillotine sometimes.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? Like, why not go for it if there's a choke there?
And he got the sub last fight, remember? He's
Exactly.
probably high on it. The Apex is a different beast, hey, when it's so quiet in there and you hear the thunderous punches.
Yeah.
Like, there was one in particular, like, body shot that he hit him so hard in the ribs, and it was like you could hear it. Like it was like, dude, and it was like, oh, that hurt me just watching.
Yeah.
And then you can hear Ben in the corner.
That was my takeaway. Shout out Benny if you're listening, but that's the first time you've ever heard Benny pretty much blow a gasket. You could hear him yelling. Like he's normally just that really calm voice, and there was, because I guess Ben didn't want, he's probably as familiar as Jack even said in his interview, the judges can fuck it up. So Ben didn't want it going to the judges, you could tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was you could hear Ben like, fuck it, like, because he had him so, he was inflicting so much damage on the feet, like you can see from an outsider, keep it standing, because that's where you're dominating.
You could hear Ben saying as well, don't get sucked into a scrap. Don't make it. He kept saying, don't make it dirty.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because Jack's shots are so clean and he is so calculated. You would rather him have just a clean in out rather than getting in that war. Yeah. But the dude was tough, man.
He was, and he had some good counters because he hit Jack. Jack's chin is another thing that hasn't been spoken about in that fight. I feel like people were criticising his fight IQ and his wrestling, but mate, no one spoke about that he stuffed in a lot of those attempts, and his chin, man, he wore a few big blows to the face on those counters when they were getting messy in the clinch, and he didn't even faze him.
Yeah. Nah, get off our boy. He's fucking... Yeah. It was a good fight. Fight tonight. Another 50k bonus.
I'm stoked for that. I'm pumped to watch that Basil guy fight again. Yeah. Is it Basil?
Yeah, whatever we'll call him.
Fayez, whatever? Yeah.
And did you watch the post-press with Jack?
Yeah, so cool.
So good. He's the fighter's fighter.
He's the man.
And those who know fighting will know who won that fight.
Yeah.
And anyone else, they're just fucking tripping, or they had money on the other dude or some shit. I don't know what they're tripping on.
But roll on Sydney.
Yeah. That judge, maybe he flew from the Apex to J-Bay. We just solved it.
Yeah.